Welcome to another Unquendor Guitars update, and as you can see, I'm not at a guitar show. I'm back in my studio because due to the coronavirus the guitar show got cancelled. But I still wanted to do a video for this week's update, so I thought let's do a mini guitar show, a digital guitar show here on my channel. And if you don't mind, I want to show you some of my guitars. Starting with this one over here. I don't show this guitar often because this is the first guitar I ever made, and I made it for myself. And I'm still very proud of it. When I just started repairing and setting up guitars, soon after I wondered if I could make my own guitar, so I got some wood, got my parts, watched a ton of YouTube videos and just started making guitars. And this is the result of that, and this is the first guitar. It's a basswood body, flake maple neck, rosewood fretboard and an inlaid flamed maple top. It's one of the features on all the Unquendor, or most Unquendor guitars. It's that the top is actually inlaid into the body, and this gives you a nice consistent, what's called a false binding on the guitars. This guitar also has an inlaid veneer on the headstock. Instead of being at a veneer like I do these days, this one is actually also inlaid into the top. And of course, a recognizable feature on all of my guitars and bass guitars is the cutout at the bottom of the guitars. It has a purpose. It not only looks cool, it's great looking, it's very recognizable for the Unquendor guitars. The main purpose of this feature is when you play in a more classical position. It keeps your guitar nice and stable, and it helps you practice and play. It also means that the guitar stays nice and stable when you're working, for example, behind your desk, behind the computer, and you have to work the keyboard and the mouse when you're recording or when you're doing any practices. So that's the design intent of this cutout, is to keep your guitar nice and stable when you want to work on your computer like most of us do these days. Another benefit of having this cutout here is, in a situation we've all been in, is when you're in a rehearsal room, for example, and you want to go for a break, or you need to put your guitar aside for a moment. Usually, or in most of the practice rooms or rehearsal rooms I've been in, most of the times there weren't any great guitar stands, if any. And what did you do? You just put your guitar against a wall or against your amplifier, and when you come back from a break, your guitar is lying on its back and you're very glad the headstock didn't break. So with this cutout you can easily just rest your guitar on the ground, lean it against your amp or against the wall, and it's very stable. It won't fall down, and you don't have to worry that your guitar will get damaged. So that's another benefit of having this cutout. So the first Unquendor guitar ever. Let's put it back. One guitar I'm particularly proud of is a later model. As you can see, in comparison to the first guitar I've made, the design changed a little. I changed the shape of the main horn. The shape of the horn. I shortened it a bit, made it more angular, and just to give this guitar, this model, somewhat of a more recognizable look. Yeah, this guitar is called the Celtic Nessa. The Nessa is the name I gave this shape, so yeah, most of my guitars are all the Nessa model, or the Nessa shape. And this is what I like to call the Celtic Nessa, or the Nessa Celtic braid. It has to do, of course, with the aluminum Celtic braid inlay. It's inlaid into an aged flamed big leaf maple top. The top is inlaid into a single piece mahogany body. It has a 5-piece laminated neck, maple and again mahogany. It has some high quality locking tuners. This guitar, so instead of the Goto mini tuners, this one has locking tuners. Again, hip shot bridge, iron gear, rolling mill and hot slack pickups, single volume, single tone, and of course the 3-way switch. I changed the design a bit just to give you more access to the 24th fret. All my guitars have 24 frets, and I mostly use Dunlop 6105 that are frets that are slightly narrower but still jumbo frets, but just slightly narrower, slightly more narrow, I don't know. So they're narrow jumbo frets. I always use the Graftec Tusk graphite nuts. And yeah, and I like to make my guitars as thin and lightweight as possible. If you have to use a guitar on stage for an entire evening, you don't want to end up with sore shoulders or a sore back. So I make my guitars as light as possible, yeah, just for comfort. So yeah, I'm very proud of this guitar. Yeah, I will have a hard time letting this one go, but if you're interested, check out the Unquendor Guitars website, the link down below. Yeah, this could be your guitar. Let's take a look at an odd guitar, or odd guitar. It isn't odd, it's still the Nessa, but it's a bit different than the usual Nessa guitars, because instead of having an inlaid top, this is a laminated body. It's a swamp ash, soprano and walnut laminated body with a single piece maple neck that has 2 carbon strips in it, just to give it, yeah, to make it even more stable, and a really rock solid neck. Again, Goto mini tuners, and this guitar doesn't have a hip shot bridge, but this guitar has a Goto Floyd Rose tremolo style bridge. Again, iron gear pickups, 24 frets on a Pau Ferro fretboard. All my guitars are 25.5 inch scale with a 12 inch radius fretboard. Again, master volume, master tone and 3-way switch. Yeah, and this is a very easy playing guitar, very low action, very stable tuning, thanks to the Goto bridge and locking nut, and of course the carbon reinforcement in the neck makes it a very stable tuned guitar, very yeah, good guitar. And this guitar has also what I like to call an all-axis neck carve. You can really, when playing, you can really easily reach up to the highest frets without there being anything in the way on the back of the guitar. Yeah, another, if I may say so myself, very stunning guitar. Let's grab this one. The first Unquendor Guitars bass. I got often asked, do you also make basses? And up until that point I didn't, but I always said, well, maybe the next one. And one day I decided, yeah, it's time to make a bass guitar, and this is what it ended up like. It's still recognizable, I think, as an Unquendor guitar. It has the inlaid top, a slightly yeah, not as deep of a colorway, but the colorway is still there. Mostly used to put your guitar away. Yeah, this one has an alder body, inlaid Wenge top, and black limba and Wenge laminated neck with two very thin maple stripes. Spurzel USA tuners on this one, hip shot bridge, EMG active pickups, two volume controls, so you can really dial in the perfect mix between the two pickups, and a master tone, of course. Yeah, 24 frets, which you can reach. Same neck carve as on the other guitars we've seen. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not a bass player, but the guys who tried this guitar told me it's a great playing bass, so I tend to believe them. Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, headstock. I like small headstocks, like you've seen on my guitars. I really like small headstock, a small headstock. And for the bass guitar, it means that it isn't top heavy at all. It doesn't have any yeah, head drop, or it's a nice balanced bass guitar. And as you can see, it's even a fairly light bass guitar. Same as with my guitars. It has to be comfortable to play for an entire evening, so that's why it's a pretty light bass guitar and well balanced. So yeah, if you'd like, contact me and check this one out. So let's take a look at this one. Oh, bit of dust. This is what's called the red flamed Nessa. It's a black limba body and neck. The neck is a 9-piece laminated neck. It's black limba maple with ebony striping. Again with the Goto mini tuners, hip shot bridge. The thing I want to talk about with this guitar is mainly the two pickups. These are special wound pickups. They're made especially for this guitar by the guys from Apollo Pickups. It's Dutch vintage pickup maker who makes these pickups by hand. These pickups are based on a vintage PAF pickup, but instead of using Alnico 5 magnets, these pickups have an Alnico 8 magnet in them, just to give them just a little more punch and a bit more clarity, I think, and they work very well in this guitar. Yeah, these are still prototypes, one-off, designed particularly for me and my guitars, but we're still in the process of fine-tuning the design, yeah, for maybe the future guitars, the future Unquendor guitars, to be equipped with these pickups as well. Yeah, another great looking guitar. The finish on this one is a bit different. I usually use an oil and wax finish, and this one actually has a hard wax oil finish like the spalted maple Nessa. Yeah, it's just a bit more durable, harder finish, but still easy to maintain. You can just buff it out with just a little bit of beeswax on a bit of cloth, and you can really yeah, clean it and polish it up again. So another great looking guitar. So I hope you enjoyed this little improvised digital guitar show and me telling you something about my guitars. If you've any other questions, please leave them in the comment section down below or check out the Unquendor website. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in the coming weeks. I don't have any guitar builds planned, and to be honest, I really need to free up some space here on my wall. I don't like selling stuff here on my channel or advertise too much, but I really need to sell 1 or 2 or 3 of my guitars. So yeah, if you're interested, please let me know using my website or using the social media channel that you're watching this video on. Yeah, and I have to figure out what I'm going to do the coming weeks. I still have an interview and a demo session lined up with Thijs to show his 2 Unquendor guitars. So that might be coming. I don't know when exactly, because yeah, we have restrictions on meeting due to the virus. So if the dust settles on that, we can continue our collaboration. Yeah. So if you want to stay updated and support me, please subscribe to my channel and like my videos. Yeah, and I hope to see you in the next video. But until then, have a nice week.